Very good morning, viewers of Simply Communicate. I'm Karuna Kumar, Associate Editor of Simply Communicate, and we are here today at Holborn speaking with Tom Barton at Capgemini. Thanks, Tom.
Nice to meet you.
Great to meet you and great that we are here today. Thanks for letting us come in. Can you introduce yourself to our viewers, explaining what your role at Capgemini is and what is it that you really do here?
Yeah, so Tom Barton, and I am the UK head of communications, which means I'm responsible for PR, analyst relations, web communications, social media, and internal communications. So my remit covers all of that for the UK. So that's around 8,000 employees of a worldwide workforce of about 120,000. So I'm responsible for public relations and then any other external communications. So it's mostly PR, but includes analyst relations. I'm responsible for, or my team is responsible for managing the content of our website here in the UK, and as well as championing the use of social media and overseeing our social media strategy in the UK. And then I'm also responsible for pan-UK internal communications. For us at Capgemini, that has meant a focus on the use of Yammer, although we are still in the process of assessing other forms of communications, as much for on our clients' behalf as well as for ourselves.
Okay, so as I perceive it, it's kind of between internal as well as external audiences. Your work would be, could be said that you're catering to internal as well as external.
Absolutely.
Now, does the use of social media change when you are communicating with these two different audiences, or it remains more or less the same?
The medium stays more or less the same. I mean, it's the conversations that one is having. I mean, it's just another channel. I mean, similarly, email internally versus externally, it's still essentially the same. It's just that the conversation may change, whether it's an emphasis in terms of the detail or a change in tone, but it doesn't differ that fundamentally.
About Yammer, and I think ever since the very tool came into the eyes of people, there was a lot of skepticism around it, as well as a lot of encouragement by a lot of people thinking, well, it's good, but is it really going to be safe? Can we really implement it within large organizations? What was your interpretation of the tool when it first came into being?
Well, so it was launched in 2008. On the day of launch, it was launched at a big trade conference in California in 2008, and on the day of its launch, it just so happened that 3 of our technology consultants were following the presentation live and were inspired enough to sign up to see what it was all about. And it then grew through word of mouth at this point. So first 10, then 20, then 30 people. I joined in November 2008 just because I'd heard someone talking about it and how useful they were already finding it. So I think I was number 38, the 38th person to join. Not really sure what it was, but intrigued to see that people were using it just to help them find information. And this was the thing. It was about, it was taking the, if you think of the ability in the office, if you're looking for something, and more often than not, that's what our business is, it's just finding information. You want to ask somebody. One is told that, look, there's databases that you have access to and knowledge banks, and you go and try and search for the thing that you want, whether it's an example of a project plan or a case study. And invariably you get lost because the way information is catalogued, comes down to the way that a particular person has decided to label that particular document. And then that differs, from one person to the next, despite any policies one might have. I think that the appeal, apart from its simple user interface, was that it provided a freemium model. So it was very easy to share the benefits and encourage people to join, knowing that no one was having to sort of request a further 10 licenses or a further 50 licenses. It was a case of, just type your email in and you're away. So we had time to then build up a case that showed that it provided benefit, not least because it was just speeding up everyone's job.
We're talking of emails and we're talking of Yammer. You said the freemium model was quite an incentive for people to implement and adopt and take a very friendly, quick approach to it.
Yeah.
So the email is free as well, Yammer is free as well. You can share a lot of content between certain number of people, and you can perhaps Yammer each other, send private messages as well as have a news feed where everybody can take a look at it. Where is it that Yammer stands as a more unique option as compared to the primitive email?
Yeah, but I think email certainly has its place, and it is a very efficient way of exchanging information as long as you know who is the recipient. So it's very good for one-to-one, especially if you're sharing information and real-time info is not critical. You can do this asynchronously. So, but the important thing is you need to know who it is going to be the recipient. You have to type in an email address or a group of people, I guess. And we know that for large distribution lists, the chances are the email that you're sending is not relevant to the majority of them. So email is good for some things, but bad for others. And because you don't know when you're likely to get a response as well. When the email goes out and you're sort of waiting for responses to come back. The thing about Yammer is that one can post a question to everybody else who is registered to the network, and people I don't even know exist, let alone know much about them or what they do or what their areas of expertise are. The subject goes up or the topic of conversation. And this is the thing, when it comes to requests for information, or does anyone know anything about this type of project or this type of software, or have we done this anywhere before? It's not just restricted to the people in my email address book, or even in the email address book of Capgemini UK. It's now opened up to anyone in the global organization who has signed up to Yammer. So now, to do the same would be to send one email to 36,000 people, because we have 36,000 people who are signed up as registered users to our Yammer network, and that's just impractical if everyone starts sending emails to that number. So this is the thing, one now is following the subject, and it's not about one's organizational rank, it's not about the business unit that I sit in or the country in which I sit. It's all about the subject.